This would bring any mother to tears, watching their child go through what you see in this surveillance video. That is her 11-year-old son, Zaire Smith, being slammed to the ground by a teacher. The teacher then pins the child on the floor. With Zaire's hands behind his back, the teacher uses his own body to hold him down. Zaire is in the same position for about a minute. Zaire has autism and ADHD. The man on top of him is a staff member at Mount Carmel Guild Academy in West Orange. And this is happening in what's known as the problem-solving room inside the school.
It was very hard to watch. My son on the floor, like legs kicking out, and if you could zoom in on his face, he's squinching his eyes and his fingers is pointing out, and you could tell he was in pain, and I felt that.
The teacher then pulls Zaire up at one point, but seconds later, he tackles Zaire back down to the floor. Again, the child is in the same position, face down, his hands behind his back. The teacher holds him down while several other staff members come in and out of the room. 5 minutes later, Zaire is still down on the floor, in the same position. The video is almost impossible for his parents to watch.
He's in a school somewhere where he's supposed to be safe. I had to see they put his hand on his back and took him down like that.
He said that he could not take a deep breath. He was not able to breathe in. That's what he said, in and out. He was not able to breathe. And that sunk my soul again, because my son saying that he wasn't able to breathe.
You can also see several other children are witnessing this, including one child who has been in the room for almost the entire time, sitting right there. The staff member then turns Zaire around. His arms are still behind his back. Zaire is kicking his legs, but another staff member gets down and holds his legs, at times bending them and twisting them. This goes on for about 13 minutes. After watching the video, psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Gardier believes the situation could have been handled differently.
From what I can see, this was a child who felt perhaps completely overwhelmed by the individuals around him. The way that he was treated in that way, taken down in that way, I think was certainly a shock to his system.
At one point, it appears a nurse comes in to treat Zaire for a large cut on his face. He appears to still be in distress. The teacher is still holding Zaire's arms behind his back.
I think any parent looking at this, especially if you're the parent of that child, would be absolutely horrified.
Before we show you how this ends, let's go back to how it started. Zaire's mother says her son loves to draw, and he was making a card that day.
All of this is from a little card that he created, a little keepsake that he wanted.
Zaire tells us the keepsake was taken away from him.
How did you feel?
I felt angry.
That anger apparently leads staff to bring Zaire to the problem-solving room, where he throws a chair. The chair hits the wall and goes back on the teacher. And that's where things escalate. After first being put in a corner, you can see Zaire is taken down.
I'm feeling angry, and the side of my face hurts.
I feel like they could have spoken to him. They could have used the de-escalation verbally. It didn't have to escalate to where someone had to physically assault my son. They didn't have to do that.
On its website, the school says for more than 51 years, it's been meeting the needs of students with learning and behavioral disabilities and shows an award for its work, caring for children with special needs.
When a child is neurodivergent, in this case on the autism spectrum, that there are some difficulties in regulating their emotions. And so they should not be treated as if they are some sort of a dangerous person, but instead need to be treated with empathy, sympathy, and therapeutically.
Zaire's parents say, to make matters worse, this is not the first time their child was injured, allegedly at the hands of a staff member at the school. Last year, he came home with a similar bruise on the other side of his face that left a scar.
When this happened last year, we talked about it. We sat down with them. They said this will never happen again. We're going to do better training. We're going to do all of these things. I sent them back. Not even a year later, and we're here again.
This time, Zair's mother alleges the school tried to cover up what happened when she arrived to pick him up.
I saw my son coming down the hall. He had a busted lip. I saw the bruises under his eye and his lip. Immediately my heart sank because I said, well, you know, look at his face. They ushered me to a room. They started talking to me there, and then my son turned his face, and that's when I saw the side of his face.
And at that point, what was the school saying?
They were saying that he caused it to himself, that he was moving when he had to be restrained, that he rubbed his face on the rug.
We sent several emails to the principal of the school for comment, but so far nothing. The family hired an attorney to help them navigate their next steps. The attorney sent this letter to the school and is questioning.
What was the reason to keep him on the ground so long? He's not resisting. You could see he's in pain.
Towards the end of the surveillance video, you see Zaire on his feet. His sneakers are off. It appears Zaire wants to leave the problem-solving room, but several teachers are holding him back. At one point, a woman in the room is seen rubbing Zaire's back and arms. He's then forced into a chair. A teacher restrains him again, while another teacher puts on his shoes. In the end, after almost 30 minutes, Zaire is allowed to walk out on his own.
I want justice for my son. I want not only for my son. How many other kids have gone through this, right?